On the Worst Ever series, we've looked at a lot of bootleg Famicom games and ROM hacks. We've reviewed console after console that come preloaded with hundreds of them. I was beginning to think that I'd seen everything, that there were no surprises left for us, no lands left to conquer. But oh, how wrong I was.
Introducing the Game Boy Advance game cartridge, 369 in one. Why buy 369 individual video games when you can get one tiny cartridge that has them all in one sleek blue package? Don't waste your money on plastic, spend it on the fantastic. This cart will have you playing for days, non-stop. Straight from Amazon, the forest people that used to sell books.
My expectations were set pretty low. Rock bottom low, in fact. I mean, we've been doing this show for a while, so I know better than to think that this is an officially licensed Nintendo cartridge. Obviously, it's more pirated than a Nike swoosh on questionable sneakers at a flea market. If this cart even has any real games on it, there's no way they're legal. So before we go any further, I want to say I don't endorse companies selling these knockoff products, especially giant conglomerates like Amazon. That should freaking know better. But legality aside, these ripoffs often take ROMs that belong to other people, make them run like garbage, and then sell them as their own creation. Even worse, they package them in a way that would trick a non-gamer, like someone's parent or grandparent, and make them think that they're getting something that's real. So here's what happened when I turned on the cartridge for the first time. Right at the top of the menu, it says no repeat 369 in one games. No repeat, huh? That would be a worst ever first if this turns out to be true. When we turn our attention to the games list, we see, against all odds, that this cartridge actually has GBA games on it. At the top of the list, you have your Pokemon games like Fire Red, Emerald, Leaf Green, Ruby, and Sapphire, and shockingly, they all seem to work. These are the full Pokemon games originally released on GBA in what appears to be perfect working order. There are also all 4 Super Mario Advance titles working exactly as you would hope. No graphical glitches, no sound problems, everything seems a-okay. I combed through the games list and found that all the GBA games run great. That is, at first glance. I was testing the Pokemon and Super Mario games, and surprise, surprise, we got a save data corrupt screen. So these games are officially kind of useless. The moment a game shows a flaw like random corruptions, it calls the integrity of every game on the cart into question. They're not to be trusted. So you might be thinking we can just stop here, nothing else to talk about. It's a bunch of glitchy GBA ROMs. End of story. No, my friends. This story
has only begun.
Of the 369 games on this cartridge, there are only 21 GBA titles. The remaining catalog is exclusively Famicom bootlegs and ROM hacks. Many of the games you're gonna see today are not running properly because the Game Boy Advance was not designed as a Nintendo Entertainment System emulator. They're not using some hidden Nintendo design feature of the GBA. We discovered while playing Double Dragon that it was using the Pocket NES emulator, and it's not even the latest version. Now, as far as we can tell, there seems to be no way to update the emulator or change out any of the games on this cart because there's no ports on the cartridge. So the games on here might not run correctly, and there's just no way to fix them. Great. I was scrolling through and saw Kirby's Adventure 2. Now, as far as I'm aware, there wasn't a Kirby's Adventure 2. There was a Kirby's Adventure that was a wonderful NES game where you play a happy pink fluff ball that inhales enemies. So let's see what this is. Oh, it's Kirby's Adventure, but in French. Not a sequel, just the first game in another language. It was pretty obvious while trying to play Kirby that things were off. The inputs just didn't feel right and the timing was way off. And this issue is not going to improve with any of the other games we play today. So keep that in mind. As bad as these games might look, they feel and play even worse. Funny enough, this isn't the only Kirby game on here. There's Kirby's Adventure. Now, with a name like that, hopefully this turns out to be the original game. Maybe in English this time if we're lucky. Kirby's Nuts.
Hi!
Yeah, let's get this out of the way now. The names of the games on this list are wrong. It lists a title as one thing, and when you open it, it's often something else. The entire list of games is totally unreliable. Like this game here called Lonely Warrior? Well, it's actually Kickmaster. Or Ice Adventure turned out to just be Kickle Cubicle. Angel's Anger? Well, that's Kid Icarus. And the best of all is the Balloon Boy Adventu? Well, that is Kid Clown in Nightmare World. They tried, I guess. So yeah, don't trust the names. But now, back to Kirby's Nuts. I'm a little worried to find out what this game is about because Kirby doesn't have far as I'm aware, and I'm not really willing to be proven wrong. But I have to play it for science. So here we go. Oh, well, it's nothing rated R, just a hack of nuts and milk. This was a platforming game from Japan that never saw release on the NES in North America. But on this cartridge, you will see multiple variations of the original game twisted and modified for your amusement. Here's one example where they replaced the characters with Mario and Luigi. It's pretty much the same game as the original. Well, a lot of these games are known Famicom releases with 1 or 2 visual changes and a new title. Take these for example. Star Midfielder. Oh look, Metroid got converted into a Neon Genesis Evangelion game. It's called Evaroid. Opening text for the game has been changed, detailing a different story than what we're familiar with. But don't expect the game to be all that different. The biggest and most notable change here is that Samus is now an Eva. That's it. Donald Magic, or how I like to call it, McBurgerTime. This is a straight up hack of BurgerTime, but instead of Peter Pepper, the main chef de cuisine of the BurgerTime franchise, we play as Ronald McDonald. All the enemies have been modified to look like little bug-eyed creatures, no longer representing the ingredients and toppings they once were before. But if you ask me, old Ronald here looks more like the creature from It.
I'm loving it, Georgie. And when you're down here with me, you'll be loving it too.
The Gates of Hell, also known as Kid Icarus. Pit is back with a shotgun and sunglasses. Gone are the days of being a friendly angel fighting his way out of the underworld.
He's hardcore now.
Fly Mary Back, which is a palette swap of Gradius. You all know Gradius, right? Side-scrolling shoot-'em-up classic from Konami. It's a game I love to play every so often. But you know what the original Gradius doesn't have? Luigi with a rocket up his butt.
Mamma mia!
That's right. Someone took this game, took the ship, and went, I wonder what this game would be like if we shoved the Gradius ship directly into Luigi's anal cavity and blasted that idiot brother out into space. That's all this game is, flying a penetrated Luigi through space while shooting Koopas and Cheep Cheeps with his nose laser. Well, Luigi, at the very least, if you're in pain and howling from this horrifically invasive experiment, in space, no one can hear you scream. Dance, Dance Revolution. This is actually some kind of DDR clone that was made for Famicom or NES hardware. It's presented here in all of its busted glory. The GBA hardware is doing such a bad job of running this abomination that the inputs and timing are completely off. But heck, maybe the game was so badly made in the first place that it never worked to begin with. How would anyone know? But at least you have such classic, world-famous songs to listen to, like Sha-La-La-La, Oh, Carol, Boom, Boy, Love Story, Boom, again, Booterfly, Here, Mellow, and many, many more. The keen listener will notice that these garbled messes are actually very, very bad 8-bit versions of real songs. Who needs Venga Boys when you have this? I have to imagine this game was originally included with some kind of plug-and-play device that came bundled with a dance mat or something like that. Because right here at this point in the song, we're supposed to push the left and right directions of the D-pad at the same time. That's impossible to do. D-pads don't work that way, because if you could push left and right at the same time, you'd be activating all the directions at once. If it did work that way, it would be a broken D-pad. Another beloved franchise that's smeared all over this cartridge is Mega Man, but the entries are not at all what you would expect. There's a collection of Mega Man games on here that are completely bizarre. Sometimes the changes are small, but other times they're way more noticeable. Typically, these are harmless fun, but every so often you'll find something that is just crazy offensive, while also being verbally insulting to a whole group of people out of nowhere. The only thing they share in common is that none of them, and I mean none of them, are even remotely playable or actually entertaining. Besides the one where they just gave Mega Man an afro, and his bullets also have little afros. Because why not? Mario vs. Lewis. Yep, they got Luigi's name wrong in the title. Poor guy can't catch a break. This game is actually called Luigi Mario Stomp on Brothers Head. Now see, what's interesting about this? It's a Super Mario Brothers hack that in no way plays like Super Mario Brothers. Luigi runs into a room with you controlling Mario. Your goal? Stomp on your brother's head, just like the title says. As far as I can tell, this never ends. If you can avoid Luigi's toxic touch, you can keep this going indefinitely. But he's a sneaky one, and sooner or later, defeat is inescapable. So that's a game, but you wanna know something fun? This isn't the only Super Mario Brothers hack. There are a metric ton of them. And if you thought even for a minute that I'm crazy enough to go through all of them right now, well, you're correct. Kirby's Adventure 2. Kirby is back again on this cart, but make no mistake, this plays nothing like a Kirby game since it really is just Super Mario Brothers. Mushrooms are now halos. Kirby wears a halo. Kirby is Angel now? Why? Luigi and the Christmas Quest. It's Christmas and his head is oversized. Gross. Luigi and the New Quest. Same exact level design as before, but now it's not Christmas. Luigi Brothers, filled with cheap trick level designs. I hate this. Luigi's First Quest, The Search for Mario. Feels like they forgot to design a proper title screen. Super Mario Brothers, Luigi's Training. Nothing to write home about with this game other than the words, "Fight Luigi" hovering in the sky. Mario. New inspired levels with the Mario character design from Super Mario Bros. 3. This one is called Super Mario 2000, but it doesn't have a title screen, or really much else of interest. Mikamari 1, another boring hack. Super Mario the Night. Mario's wearing sunglasses at night. There's a fun 80s music joke here somewhere, but I'm not gonna make it. Super Mario 4, boring hack. Super Mario 5, another boring hack. Super Mario Bros. Ice Mario. It totally looks like everything is made of ice, but it plays just like you're on non-frozen ground. Super Mario Bros. Johnny's Quest. I have no idea what is even happening here. Super Mario 8, another boring hack. Justin and Friends. Mario shaved and forgot to wear his iconic hat. Super Mario Bros. Another hack, but this time Mario is in a computer from the 80s. Super Mario Bros. This time it starts in an underwater level. SMB Hanshin Tiger's Gaibiet Hunting. Collecting the yellow and blue mushroom kills you. And finally, Goomba's Revenge. A lone Goomba out to retake the Mushroom Kingdom, armed with his wits and a jaunty hat. What a totally useless bundle of crappy hacks and games that in no way deserve your time or attention. To make it worse, even if any of these hacks were remotely interesting to you, they would run like boiled cottage cheese with this poorly tuned hardware. Not worth it at all. But there is one Mario Brothers themed game on here that, while not a hack, is totally something you probably shouldn't miss. Kart Fighter. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I imagine Smash Brothers would have been like if Nintendo released it on the NES and simply didn't care. This is a fighting game. It's clearly designed to mimic Street Fighter 2. The only difference is that all of the characters are based on the roster of Super Mario Kart for the SNES. This could possibly be impressive to someone, but I don't like it. The game is a slog to play and ultra cheap with terrible AI. Most of the sounds are harsh and the music has some pretty bottom tier covers of songs from Super Mario Kart. You never feel like you can do much with the fighters. See, Street Fighter 2 in arcades had 6 buttons to play with. The NES, however, it had 2. This means you don't get much in the way of complex moves. It might look fun, but it's not fun to play. And I should know, I actually beat the whole thing just to see what would happen. And in case you're wondering, nothing. That's what happened. You're booted right back to the menu. It's a total waste of time. Next game is, wait, another Double Dragon. We did it, folks! We found the repeats! Yeah! Double Dragon is the exact same as Campus Double Dragon. They just added the word campus because, well, honestly, I'm not really sure. But what I am sure of is that this cartridge has repeats aplenty, from Life Force getting duplicated to other games like King Kong 2 and even a Harry Potter bootleg called Harry Story. They just changed the name on the game menu. And even if a game isn't the exact same ROM, the same games are on here over and over, just slightly changed. Like this next gem, Paint Your Wagon. I want you to guess what this game is. Maybe some kind of coloring game made for kids? Possibly a Mario Paint demake on NES? Those would be good guesses, better than what this cartridge actually delivers. Paint Your Wagon has no painting or wagons. That's because it's Double Dragon 2. But unlike real Double Dragon 2, enemies now have messed up haircuts and your character seems to be missing their head. Druggy Final Fight. This is a messy hack of Mighty Final Fight by someone who likes Hagar a lot. Like, a lot. It's been flipped with crude language and gratuitous drug references. Most of the words you'll find in the backgrounds are swear words now. But oh boy, does it get way worse. We've seen a lot of games today that are tweaked or broken clones of original, better iterations, but we've saved the absolute weirdest for dead last. This next batch of games we're calling the nudity games. First, we look at the Pipe Mario, which is the original Mario Brothers arcade game hacked to have Mario look like a giant, pipe. And if you don't quite get what I'm alluding to there, let me put it this way. Mario has testicles for feet and he shuffles them around as he moves across the stage, jumping, bumping, and flopping. My enthusiasm for this game, limp. Next, Joy Brothers. It's nuts and milk again, and I was worried about Kirby's nuts being not safe for work, but this game makes way up for it. It's the same game as Nuts and Milk, but everyone is a dink. Straight up, dinks. Dinks everywhere. Dig Dug. It's Dig Dug, but now, penis. Hey look, Mega Man's back. And now all the dialogue has been changed to sexually charged and derogatory text. Oh, and Rockman, as he's known in Japan, totally living up to his name. Piracy, lies, and bootleg nudity. That's what this cart has going for it and nothing else. At the very least, I will always be personally impressed by Amazon's inability to crack down on garbage like this. Maybe they don't care that it's up for sale. Maybe Nintendo doesn't care that it's up for sale. But as long as this stuff exists, there is always gonna be someone getting scammed who didn't know any better. And people like me who should have. Dig Dug. It's Dig Dug, but whoa, that's a big dig. That's better than penis, right?